Good morning, good morning. I hope you can see me. I hope you can hear me. It's Graham Hughes here, broadcasting from Rachel's studio here in deepest, darkest Kent in the southeast. The southeast adventure continues. I'm hoping Rachel will put in an appearance at some point this morning. We'll have to see. Big shout out to everyone in the chat. We've got Viper Scott, we've got Lost Missionary, we've got Sid in there. We have got Andy and Reverend Kathy. Good to have you on board this morning, this glorious morning. I am Graham Hughes, last time I checked, and you are watching Politics Social. Hello! So today we're going to be talking about Iran to kick things off, but then we might, segue to other things that are going on right now in the world. If you want to join in with the wonderful people in the chat here, all you need to do is hit the subscribe button and wait for approximately 1 minute, and you'll be able to opine fairly openly. Well, not that openly, because if you're a troll or a bot, we will mute you. We will mute you and boot you. Haha. So, I've just been handed a coffee from Rachel's wife, which is lovely. It's so nice here. I know you can't see because I'm in this digital background, but oh my god, it is so nice here. It is ridiculous, and Rachel and the wife treated me to a pub dinner last night, and it was so good. It was so good. Enjoying my trip so far. Later on today, I'm going to be travelling over to see Hannah Janes. We'll be doing a very special episode of The Intersection tonight. So please, if you are not already subscribed to the channel, subscribe and hit the bell notification icon so you get a little bit of a heads up before we go live, because it should be a really, really good show. Sadly not SG. I'm sorry, Martin. What are we sadly notting about? I hope you can see me. I hope you can hear me. I hope everything's going live here as it should be. It's always difficult having a new setup every morning because you've kind of got to get up and do the prep for the show and then make sure everything works, and there's always something that is problematic one way or another, because I've got a green screen behind me, and obviously if I just had the green screen without being keyed out, it would look a bit naff. So I've gone for this background. I was looking for my old warehouse background. Do you remember I used to have a warehouse background when I first started doing these morning shows? And then I sacked that off after a while and just had the real background because it was too much hassle. Do you know what it was? It was like if it was daytime and the sun was streaming through the window, the light would change, and so as I'm streaming, the actual the green screen effect would change as I was streaming. So yes, it is all good. So I am going to be talking this morning, like I say, about Iran. So Trump, the orange menace, the mountain of mad flesh, the Cheeto Benito, the Mango Mussolini, the Wanko Franco, the horrible Hitler. I mean, Hitler was horrible enough. With his goon squads running around American cities, terrorizing women and children, shooting innocent people dead in the street. Nice work if you can get it, I guess. Those people who are in ICE don't seem to understand that they are going to go on trial for their crimes and could be put to death for their crimes that they're committing now. Trump is saying that he can offer them immunity. J.D. Vance is saying they've got absolute immunity. They don't. They absolutely do not have absolute immunity. Trump is saying that time is running out for Iran to agree to a nuclear deal. He wants a nuclear deal. He's obsessed with doing deals. He wants to do deals all the time. And he claims a massive armada is moving towards the Gulf, which is kind of true. He says that US forces are ready, willing and able to use violence, which they are. And he frames this as pressure for negotiations rather than preparation for war. But we saw what happened in Venezuela, where Trump and his dickheads essentially gave the green light to any tyrannical regime anywhere in the world, doesn't like its neighbour, to just go in and kidnap the head of state of that country and bring them back to their country for prosecution for naughty crimes. Something that has not been a thing since, I don't know, the Treaty of Utrecht or something in 64. I know that's Cronenberg. Anyway, so he's been using Truth Social to escalate the rhetoric publicly, rather than going through diplomatic channels. Why not just post it on social media? I mean, it's the language of our age, I guess. A particularly toxic social media platform. in True Social, which is, I mean, it's a bit like Twitter these days, isn't it? It's just populated by 4chan wankers, incels, misogynists, bots, gobshites, one and all. It is just not a nice place. But then again, the world isn't a particularly nice place with Trump at the helm in America. And there's not much we can do about that at the moment, except pray to the volcano gods that they take their vengeance on him one way or another. But in the meantime, we kind of got to put up with him. But I hope that I can spin a little bit more of a positive on goings on, because I'll keep saying this every time there is a lurch to the right, there is, an equal and opposite reaction. People saying, no, we're not putting up with this, especially when it's people who have experienced freedom in the past, like people who have known what it's like to not live in fear of a knock on the door and ICE agents coming in. Do you know that ICE agents were being sent to Italy for the Winter Olympics? And the mayor of Milan's like, what? Why are you sending ICE agents to Italy? Yeah, true story. Look it up. So yeah, USS Abraham Lincoln has been deployed to the region. It's an aircraft carrier. These things are absolutely mammoose. They're usually, I don't know what this one is, but they're usually nuclear powered. But the problem is with these big ships at the moment, in the age of asymmetrical warfare, what you really want is a lot of boats. You want thousands of boats, like, you know, the fishing fleet they've got off the coast of China, and then it makes it very, very, very difficult for anyone to try and break through. Whereas if you've got one ship and all your eggs are in one basket, and you've got one little landing strip that the planes have got to land on and take off from and stuff, like Top Gear style, right? That's just one target, isn't it? And if it gets swarmed by drones, like 4,000 drones, they can't get every single one. And it takes one to get through and create a hole in the deck. And then, you know, where the planes are supposed to land and all the planes are grounded. You don't need to blow the ship up. You don't need to kill everyone. You just need to stop the planes from taking off. Job's a good one. It's why spending all this money on things like aircraft carriers these days just seems absolutely bonkers to me, when we've got the technology to have just cargo ships full of drones, and you can have thousands of them for the same price as an aircraft carrier. These aircraft carriers are immense. They're like floating cities. They are so big, it makes, honestly, it's kind of crazy how big these things are, these absolute beasts. And they can go really fast because of the way they're set up. I think they can go about 40 knots, which is ridiculous. I know you got to go, but that's only 40 nautical miles an hour, Graham. And I'm like, yeah, but still, it's pretty fucking fast. Viper Scott, thank you very much for the £2 super chat to get the goal started for Dizz's Confetti fix. Ah, thank you. Good morning to you, Alistair. And that is very, very kind of you. And I'll give you a little super chat animation. There you go, super chat. Yes, it's all good. ICE is going to Italy to stop US athletes from defecting to the EU. That might be true. Why the fuck are ICE going to Italy? Surely they have no jurisdiction there, says Martin. Yeah, I don't know. Apparently they're going in as an advisory role, but the mayor of Milan, I think it was the mayor of Milan, was like, what the fuck? No, it's just not happening. It's just not happening. Can those drones reach the carrier? Normally they operate 200 nautical miles away from the target area. Yeah, they can. We've seen drone strikes deep into Russian territory, well over 200 nautical miles away. You know, really deep. We've had drone strikes, Ukrainian drone strikes in the Caspian Sea. We've had it in eastern Russia, you know, close to the border with Mongolia. I mean, they can get a long way. They can get a long way pretty fast. But yeah, and we know that Iran makes a lot of drones. And what I'm saying is that although this has had the potential of getting very messy, I think that it could lead to an unexpected result for the Americans, because we don't know what they've been developing in Iran. Just saying. Francis, thank you very much for the £2 super chat. That is very, 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 very kind of you. I see those greedy water companies are after more money. 25% increase last year, so they could do the stuff they were originally tasked with, and now up to 10% more. I may disconnect now. Yeah, just do rainwater collection, and I don't know, shit on the streets. Martin, thank you very much for the £2 super chat. Someone wake Diz. We were singing Diz's praises last night, me and Rach, because Diz is a fantastic mod. It's not taking anything away from the other mods, but Diz is always there. Diz is there, just straight on there. Just get rid of those trolls. Gotta go. Take them out. Brilliant. Like a ninja. She's like a ninja. The US has deployed this USS Abraham Lincoln to the region, guided missile destroyers and combat ships that are stationed in Bahrain, and fighter jets have been deployed to Jordan's Muafq, I'm saying that right, Salty Air Base, and air defences have been reinforced in Qatar, and heavy air traffic of cargo planes, refueling aircraft, surveillance assets have been detected in the region. Drones and PB Poseidon spy planes operating near Iranian airspace. It does look like an invasion is imminent, a weapon of mass distraction, as I say in the thumbnail of this video. Because isn't it funny that Trump's been ramping up all this internationalism? You know, he didn't seem to really care a lot up until the Epstein files were due to be released, which was over a month ago now. Over 1 million documents still not released pertaining to Epstein and his child sex abuse ring, his paedophile ring that he used to run with wealthy Americans, possibly including Donald Trump, probably including Donald Trump by all accounts, although, you know, a friend told me that. I don't know if it's true, but, you know, it's what people are saying. He is a fucking monster. And then this has come out now, and what's he been doing? He's been running around saying he's going to invade Greenland. He's been going to Davos. He's making rambling, crazy fucking speeches. He's been stealing the leader of Venezuela and threatening to go in with force. He's been blowing up boats in the South Caribbean, and he's just being a twat, really. He's just being a bit of a twat all round on the international stage, because he needs a weapon of mass distraction from the Epstein files. So let's not stop talking about the Epstein files. So meanwhile, while that's been going on internationally, in America, it's just turning into a fucking cesspit with ICE going door to door and murdering people willy-nilly with impunity. Well, at the moment, it's not going to be forever. And he's riding low in the polls, but that doesn't matter, because he's never going to have to stand for election again, because he's never going to allow a free and fair election in America ever again until he's not with us anymore. And then after that, it might be a bit more difficult for them to rig the elections, but they'll still try. They will still try. As I explained on Sunday, on my Sunday sermon, it's going to be very, very difficult for the Republicans to ever get back into power with the system being as it is. They need to smash the system. Smash the system. Start a new one. So the US posturing has increased massively in the last 2 weeks, and in response, Iran has been, it's responded with, threats, saying its fingers are on the trigger. Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has rejected the talks under threat, any idea of talks under threat or coercion. And I'm just going to have to break it off there, because we've just had 2 magnificent super chats from SG and Paula. And then, for the first time this morning, unleash the confetti! Confetti! How excitement! So thank you very much to SG, who says, the next episode in Trump's reality show is everyone hooked. Please, can someone decommission this show, please? Yeah, I mean, I blame The Apprentice. Count Dooku, and it has given us some of the worst supervillains of the 21st century. Katie Hopkins, Donald Trump, that guy who says Bosch and has just joined Refuck. Gobshites, one and all. Miss Paula Thomas says, we may not know what Iran's drones are capable of, but I'll give decent odds to at least one of the NSA, CIA, MI6, or GCHQ do. Well, I would hope they've got intelligence on that, but who knows? Iran has repeated its claim that its nuclear program is peaceful. This is the pretext that Trump is using to muscle in on the region. He's saying, oh, they're making nuclear weapons. We've got to stop them having nuclear weapons. He's fine with North Korea having nuclear weapons. He's fine with China having nuclear weapons. He's fine with Pakistan and India and Israel having nuclear weapons. He's cool with that, you know. It's not like North Korea is a rogue state or anything who could launch a nuclear weapon just, you know, because it's Tuesday. Nah, that'll never happen. He's not too asked about North Korea. He's more asked about Iran. It's almost as though in like North Korea there's not much oil or rare earths. Almost. A lot of oil in that Iran. So yeah, Iran has said it would accept a fair and equitable deal on equal footing. Now, there was already a deal, as we remember, 10 years ago. There was a deal that Obama had signed with the Iranian authorities, which meant there was inspectors going to the nuclear facilities to make sure they weren't enriching uranium to the point where they can make a nuclear bomb. Because you only need to enrich uranium to a certain amount to get it to work in a nuclear power station. You don't need to enrich it so far. If you're going to make a bomb, you have to enrich it to a very, very high percentage. I'm sure someone in the chat knows much more about this than I do. But generally speaking, if you want to make nuclear material, it is quite difficult. It's not the easiest thing. And to make it in secret is quite difficult as well. And last year, Trump dropped these bombs on this mountain in Iran, and you know, gave the Iranians a heads up before they did it, and with the help of Israel, and there's a good chance that Iran got most of its nuclear stuff out of there because they had a heads up, they knew what was coming, and we just don't know. And Trump at the time was like, yes, I've won, I've taken over, I'm a king of the world, and everyone's sort of looking at him going, yeah, but you haven't stopped the nuclear program. He's like, I've stopped it, I've really stopped it. And you're like, oh, have you though? Have you, Donny? Have you? So yeah, the Deputy First Minister confirms no formal negotiations are underway, and there have been message exchanges, but no structured talks between Iran and USA at the moment. And meanwhile, Iran is facing a really horrific domestic situation, caused by a crisis caused by the way that it works in Iran. If you can imagine, they do have an elected parliament, they have a president who's elected, and you know, these elections are fairly free and fair, they're okay. Do you remember Ahmadinejad? He was like seen as this demonic leader of Iran like 15 years ago. Oh my god, Ahmadinejad, he's just the worst. We need to get rid of this guy. How are we going to maybe he's a regime change? No, they had an election. They just got rid of him in an election. That's how it is. But then above the election, there's like the Supreme Council of religious elders or whatever the fuck they call themselves, and that's where you get people like Ayatollah Khomeini, who is a nutter. Now, look, just to go back, like, can I take you back a little bit into the history books? Back to 1979, there was a revolution. It was an Islamic revolution led by the clerics. Why was it led by the clerics? I ask you, because they were pissed off the reforms that were brought in by the Shah, who wasn't the perfect leader, and there was corruption, and there was problems, and he was installed by the fucking West, by Britain and the CIA. Yes, I know all that, but he did improve the life. He did improve life for the majority of people living in Iran, and I'm not making excuses for that kind of monarchy. But there was a potential to transition to a more democratic system in the future, which was shot down by the clerics. But one of the things that he did, one of the things that the Shah did, that pissed off the cleric class, is that the cleric class were a very, very wealthy group of landowners. And what the Shah did, probably taking his cue from Henry VIII, he effectively dissolved the monasteries. He brought most of the cleric-owned land, properties, etc., under national control. And they didn't like that. And that's why they struck back. And Iran went from being one of the most liberal countries in the Middle East, or Central Asia, to one of the most oppressive in the 1980s and onto today. A place where public executions were commonplace, where women were told to cover up, where travel was very, very difficult, and if you left the country, a lot of people just never came back because they feared reprisals. It's a very difficult country to get into if you want to go traveling. I was very lucky back when I was there 15 years ago because I could travel around on my own. I didn't have to go with a group. I didn't get arrested, which was nice, or held in detention. I was generally speaking allowed to just get on with my stuff. But I wouldn't recommend a trip to Iran at the moment because there are cases of foreign tourists going in and being detained on ridiculous causes. So look, I'm not defending the fact that they had a democracy in the 50s and the old companies went, oh, we're not having this, and put a Shah in. Yeah, I'm not defending that. But what I'm saying is two things can be true at the same time. The Shah wasn't great, but was better than what came after the theological absolutist regime of the Ayatollahs. So yeah, there has been kickback against the Ayatollah class or the Cleric class for years now. This is going back to 1999, I think, the first protests against this ruling body, which overrules everything that Parliament and the President want to do over in Iran. Every few years there's been more and more protests on the streets, open acts of defiance, etc. Culminating in this month. I mean, this month is still not over. Can you believe it? It has been going on for 17 years. It is still not over. Culminating in these protests that we saw at the beginning of this month, which led to the deaths of over 30,000 people. And what's happening now is that there are more acts of defiance where at the funerals of the thousands of people who have been executed by the state in the street for protesting, there is singing and dancing, women dancing at the funerals, which is not allowed. Women are not allowed to dance in Iran. Now, I can talk to you about my experiences in Iran. I met the most beautiful, kindest, sweetheartest, most generous, caring people I could ever hope to meet. Look, I met lovely people everywhere I went, but Iran holds a real place in my heart for the warmth of its people. I was on the road to Mashhad. I got adopted by a family who took me in, and they made sure that I could change my money because you can't change US dollars there. The ATM machines don't work with your Western cards. They made sure that I was sorted on the train on the way to Tehran. When I got to Tehran, I was invited to a house party. I was in Tehran, and I'm walking down the street, and one thing led to another, and I was a bit tipsy. You're not supposed to have alcohol there. It's a dry state, but I was a bit tipsy somehow, and we're walking along and eating kebabs on the street of Tehran, and one of the lads we were with says to me, like, perfect English. Loads of people spoke really, really good English. They said, what music have you got on your iPod? Because it's back in the days when people had iPods. Remember them? And I said, I've got radio. I said, it's mostly 90s indie shit from Britain, And he said, have you got any Radiohead? And I went, yeah, I've got like every album and every B-side. He's like, oh my God, I love Radiohead. And I'm like, so do I. And we start singing Creep by Radiohead. Everyone else joins in. Bit tipsy, eating a kebab, singing Creep by Radiohead in Tehran. Not the experience I was expecting. I didn't get that in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, I was looking over my shoulder the whole time because I did feel like someone was going to rush on me. I was going to look the wrong direction, do something wrong, right? So, yeah, and then my favourite story of all time from my travels, which was a few days later. I'm travelling on an overnight bus, little Persian grandmother sitting in front of me, and she turns around, sort of smiles and waves between the seats, and I sort of wave back, and she gives me her phone, and I go, hello, hold it to my ear, because she's motioning, hold it to your ear, and I said, hello. She goes, and the guy knew the end said, perfect English. Hi, my name is Saeed. I'm an English teacher here in Iran, and you're sitting behind my grandmother. And I went, oh, cool, hello. And he said, she doesn't speak any English. She only speaks Farsi. Yeah, she's called me because she's concerned about you. And I said, well, why is she concerned about me? And he says, because she says the bus is going to get in very early tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. And she thought that everyone's going to be closed and you're going to have nowhere to go and no one to make you breakfast. So she wants to know if it's okay with you, if she takes you home with her and makes you breakfast. Faith in humanity restored. And she's just there, this little Persian grandmother, just like, I'm like, okay, okay. And she took me home with her. Oh my God, it was one of the best breakfasts I've ever had. She laid out a Persian rug, because you got to. I mean, that's what you do in Iran. And we sat on the floor, cross-legged, and she put out all these, we had a flatbread, freshly baked flatbread, and we had jams, and we had like sweetmeats, and it was just like this buffet. It was just amazing. I don't know how she just whipped it up. She just was like, da, 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 and then all this food was there. And I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. And we had tea. It was really, really lovely, really lovely. And just, no matter how dark and sinister the world seems right now, at least I've got that. I've got those memories, and that's not the only time people just went out their way to be incredibly lovely at me. But it just gives me that little bit of hope for humanity, because most people are all right. That's the secret. Most people are all right. The ones who aren't all right, they want you to make you think that everyone's like them, but they're not. They're in the minority. They really are in the minority. They're just louder. They're just louder. They're just one louder. Okay, so yeah, back to Iran. Like, so there's, you know, I've got a personal connection with the place, and I don't want to see people there hurt. I think that some of the footage that's come out from the protests that have been triggered all over the country, it's not just in the capital, have been really, really heartbreaking, absolutely horrific. And I want this regime to fail. I want it to fall. But I don't want America going in and fucking things up. I think this is a job for the Iranian people. I don't think it's right that America goes around the world imposing its will on other countries, because 9 times out of 10, things don't turn out like they intended it to. As we saw in Afghanistan, they spent 20 years there. Who's in charge of Afghanistan now? The Taliban. But there's other issues going on in Iran as well. Okay, so it's not just that people have got access to the internet. They can see they've got more of a window on the rest of the world now than ever before. It's not just that. It's also the fact that they're running out of water. And this is a huge issue in Iran right now. And this is a direct result of climate change, but also bad water management practices. And it has got to a situation where the reservoirs that feed major cities like Tehran are down to 5% of their usual average capacity, down to 5%. And there's images, you can look them up on the internet, you know when it swipes across and you can see what it was like and what it's like now. You see it and you're like, bloody hell. And this could lead to people having to leave from places like Tehran because there's just not enough water. Because you can go a few weeks without any food. You can. I could probably go a bit more than that. But water? You can't go long without water. You really can't. SG, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. Oh, that's very kind of you. You see, people are so kind. Thank you. Every time I tell this story, Graham, I just can't stop grinning with a tear in my eye at the same time. Oh. Thanks, SG. It's just a nice story. And it's true. You know, I got the footage of me at Granny's house. I'm like, hello. I'm sitting down having breakfast. Like, this is Granny. She's giving me breakfast. Yeah, and I'm still in touch. With Saeed. He came along later on that morning, and I met up with him in Khorramshahr, and he put me on the boat. There was a ferry boat going over to Kuwait. One of the things that, damn it, was we were sitting outside the port building later that day while I was waiting for the ferry to come across. And I was sitting there with my camcorder, and I did an interview with Saeed about what it's like living in Iran. He lived on the Khorramshahr is on the Shatalava waterway, which is the river that divides most of Iran from Iraq. and that was what the Iran-Iraq war was over. It was about the Shatt al-Arab. And an officer came out of one of the buildings and was like, no filming, no filming. I'm like, we're just filming ourselves. I had to delete the footage. So there was some interview that I did with Saeed, which doesn't exist anymore. But he lives in New Zealand now. So if I ever go back to New Zealand, I'll be popping in to say hi. Unfortunately, Granny passed away a couple of years ago. So she's no longer with us, which was a bit upsetting. But I'm just glad that I had that moment, And again, it's the one that really stands out, but it's not unique in that there were so many times I got invited back to people's homes and to sit and break bread with the family, and even in countries where people had very, very little, they were happy to share. People are just nice. People want to be seen as nice, because if you're horrible all the time, you'll end up alone. Like, no one will hang out with you. And these ICE agents who are doing these horrible things in America, they think they're going to get away with it. But it's not just the fact that they're going to get done in years to come, get taken into custody. But it's also the fact that they're being socially ostracized. Like, if you're on a dating site, and someone's profile said that they were part of ICE, which you would go out with them, you wouldn't go on a date with them, would you? No one would. You're crazy. And people who've got like relatives not being invited to Christmas dinner, next summer they're not being invited to 4th of July barbecues. They're not going to be invited. People are just going to slip out of, family things, because voting for Trump is bad enough, but actually going on the streets and shooting Americans dead for having a gun. Wow. Paul, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. Tehran's water shortage was caused by a road scheme that destroyed a freshwater lake in a similar way to the Aral Sea disaster, says Miss Paula Thomas. Do you know what's funny? Thanks for that clarification there, because I know it wasn't just climate change. I know there was other man-made factors. Climate change is man-made as well. But yeah, the Aral Sea disaster. So when I was talking about going on a website and being able to slide across from what it was and what it looks now, like satellite imagery, the Aral Sea is just fucking insane. So the Aral Sea, it straddles the borders of Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan. I travelled along what would have been the coast of it back in 2010. I travelled through a place called Kavakazakistan, which is in the west of Uzbekistan, and I stayed in a place called Nukus, which I think at the time it was miles. It was miles from the water. So the Aral Sea, one of the largest inland lakes in the world, and it had fresh water filling up for thousands of years. And then during the Soviet era, they redirected the water to make cotton. They wanted to grow cotton in the desert, so they used the water to irrigate these fields, and the sea just dried up slowly dried up, and now it's just a shadow of its former self. It is like a sea. It was a sea, and now it's not even a pond. And it's famously where you see those images of a ship in the desert, because it's desertification, and it was an oasis of life in a desert. In what was other barren badlands, place where you can't really grow crops, and now it's just sandy, salty wastes. Nothing can grow. It's too salty. What's left? It's really grim. It's really, really grim. It just shows what the damage humans can do with some of their daft machinations. And look at that. Is it Neom, the city of the future in Saudi Arabia? That's like a line going 270 miles long. It's just fucking ridiculous. And they're scaling it back and scaling it back and scaling it back. It's a terrible, terrible idea. Why would you want to live in a high-tech prison in the desert? And the problem is with cities is they have bottlenecks. So what if, right, instead of alleviating the bottlenecks, what if, in like a planned city, what if instead we just made the whole city a bottleneck? Okay. There's a new Toyota Aygo X. Is it Aygo? Is that how you pronounce it? And they do it in a lavender colour. Woohoo! That's cool. Pete says, True Tech, I had a Ford Ka, bought as a stopgap car, kept it 4 years, cost peanuts to run, basic as a wheelbarrow. My mate said it's got steel wheels. I said, yeah, it's a top feature of it. I like those little cars, you know. Like not just the Ford Ka, but Nissan Micras and Ford Fiestas and stuff. They're just so much easier to fucking drive. Like I hate like SUVs or trying to drive. I don't mind driving a van because it's a van, and vans are big and difficult. But like trying to maneuver in one of these bloody people carriers, there's so many blind spots. There's so many things you just can't be like this all the fucking time. Not fun. I got a response from the MP attending the EU's conversion therapy vote. Said he won't be voting side. Oh, for God's sake. I'm sorry to hear that, Gallifreyan man. That is not good. The Good Law Project email has reached 10,000. That's fantastic. Oh, Viper Scott, thank you very much for the £5 super chat, my friend. ICA tried to get... Oh, ICE tried to get into the Ecuador consulate in Minnesota. Videos on Guardian webpage. They've gone out of control big time. Yeah, they already great. Yeah, absolutely, Alistair. Yeah, they really... Yeah, they're out of control. They are absolutely out of control. Even the... what they call the Republicans are admitting that it's gone a bit nuts. It's gone a bit nutty, which isn't great unless you're talking about a chocolate bar. Anyway, so yeah, go back to Iran. So we have protests. These have led quickly escalated to a legitimacy crisis for the clerical leadership of Iran. The regime response has been described as brutal and unprecedented. There's been confirmed 6,300 deaths, but they reckon there's probably another, maybe up to 20,000 more than that. Some figures I've seen exceed 25,000, up to 30,000 people shot dead just by the security forces. It's just an absolute massacre, on a scale that we really haven't seen this century. It's off the charts. And then the internet has been shut down to suppress evidence and coordination. And then we've got Trump's contradictory stance on these protests. So he's initially promised US support for demonstrators. That evaporated. That just didn't happen. He claimed that executions were stopped after authority briefings that he talked about, but there's no independent verification that any executions were halted, and the rhetoric has now shifted back to nuclear threats and military pressure rather than the push for democracy. Or this is the thing in Iran: the democracy is pretty much 90% there. It's just this clerical class that sit on top of the democracy and oppress it. It's like having a king. It's like having imagine like in America, if they had their parliament, their Congress, and usually they got to make laws, but then it went over to like a king figure, like an emperor, like a god emperor. Paul Atreides, when he goes lunatic. Spoilers. And he just gets to tell everyone what he wants to do and get to sign executive orders. And if Parliament wants to do anything, he can just ignore what they want to do. And he can send people out onto the streets and they can just shoot the citizens from that country for looking at them funny, with no pretext. And then he can give blanket immunity to the murderers doing these things. And oh, actually, no, that's the situation in America, isn't it? Oh yeah, but it's different in Iran because the people who are doing it are like mad religious, and they use religion as a justification to justify the oppression and the cruelty and the. Oh, hang on. Oh, that's in America as well. Okay, so a clerical state with a lunatic in charge, an elderly, deranged lunatic in charge, is attacking Iran. What a time to be alive. Jesus. There is no clear US strategy for protecting the civilians in Iran, for protecting the protesters in Iran. Nothing. And then we've got the nuclear deal context. I mean, in 2015, the deal with Obama capped the enrichment at 3.67%, which is enough for fuel for a nuclear power station, but it's not enough for a nuclear bomb. Right. Trump got rid of that. Trump got rid of it. Not for any good reason other than he didn't like it because Obama did it. Obama did it, and he's tired. He's like, I don't want to be president. Stamps his feet and says, "Oh, everybody's terrible. Why don't everyone listen to me?" And you're like, "Oh my God, and just fucking grow up. You know, just really grow the fuck up. I want an adult in charge. You know, I'm not so adult that they're adult because I can't remember who they are. Like Biden in his beginning of his bloody run for president again. Oh God, that was a fucking disaster. But yeah, I mean, just this petulant, childish, tantrum throwing, nobody likes me, and you know, like putting tariffs on or threatening his allies with tariffs because they won't give him green, like making unreasonable demands. We've all got people we know who do this kind of thing, make unreasonable demands, and if you just go, I don't want to do that, they go, you know, that's it, tariffs. Maybe not put tariffs on you, but you know. But yeah, Iran was barred from enrichment at the Fordo plant. I think that's one of the mountains, isn't it? For 15 years. The Trump withdrew from this deal in 2018, and sanctions were reimposed. The economy was severely damaged, and Iran retaliated by breaching enrichment levels. And the enrichment was used for both reactor fuel, but also for weapons pathways. Yeah, the recent, you know, military escalation. US struck a bunch of bases. It wasn't just Fordo, it was also Natanz and Isfahan in June last year. It was they called it Midnight Hammer. God, it's like, do you know what? That's like what a kid like would call their compilation album. No, the compilation cassette. Yeah, their mixtape. That's what they call their mixtape from the 80s. Yeah, we call it Midnight Hammer. It's like Spinal Tap level of naming nomenclature. Do you know what I mean? The US said that the programs, they said that the nuclear program was set back significantly, but Iranian officials, like I said earlier, they claim that the material had already been removed, so how effective it was is up for debate. And then Iran retaliated with missile strikes on the US base in Qatar, which didn't actually hit. I mean, they were blown out of the sky. But Trump publicly dismissed the retaliation as very weak, which is what Trump is as well. And then the US has made demands for has made demands that Iran must stop its nuclear uranium enrichment. It must limit its ballistic missile program. It must stop supporting regional proxy groups like Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis in Yemen, demands the bans that America have got now exceed the scope of the 2015 agreement, but a lot of the foundation of it is based on the 2015 agreement, but we got rid of that because that was negotiated by Obama, and how can we keep that, you know? Because we've got a child in charge, we've got a toddler, petulant petulant cock, demanding lollipops. What the difference is, with the Obama deal, there were concessions from the US to allow Iran to trade more easily and to be able to enter the world markets more easily and for easier movement of people. And the Trump administration is not offering any of that. It is just all stick and no carrot. And Iran has reacted to this build-up of military in the Gulf and around there with the deployment of Iris Shahid Bagheri, which is a drone carrier. That's the name of it. It's called the Iris. IRIS. It's like the Islamic Republic Iranian state ship. I think that's what it stands for. And it's called the Shahid Bagheri. And it's a drone carrier. So, like I said, drones, we don't know how many drones they have and how much damage they can do and whether they can actually, penetrate the defenses of an aircraft carrier, but it only takes one to get through. That's the problem. for the Americans. That's their headache at the moment. It'll take one to get through, and that would be incredibly humiliating. And like I say, it doesn't need to blow the whole fucking ship up. It just needs to do enough damage to the runway on the aircraft carrier that the aircraft can't take off our land. So yeah, we've got the focus is going to be on asymmetric warfare for the Iranians, like drones, but also missiles, fast boats, drone submarines. We don't know. We just don't know. Or someone does, I'm sure, Paula. Like, I'm sure someone in GCHQ knows what they've got, but the rest of us, we're all a little bit in the dark. And there's a long-standing doctrine aimed at offsetting US naval superiority, and the mining of Gulf shipping lanes remains a known capability. And if they do mine it, as in, I don't mean they're going to mine it with a pickaxe. I mean, like, they put mines that blow up. There's the mines from the game Minesweeper. Do you remember them? Only these don't have numbers that appear around them when you press on a spot, press on a square. The idea that they might, I think, is it the Strait of Hormuz? Am I making that up? It's like, I can't remember. Too many places, too many people, too many times, too many good times, basically. There is a narrow strait that separates Iran from Oman and the UAE, and it's really not very wide at all. And if that gets mined, that puts into peril a lot of that. Just okay. So here are the dominoes that'll fall. At the moment, because we don't celebrate wind turbines like we should celebrate wind turbines like the fucking Spitfire. Okay, what we need to do, and I wish someone in government would just listen to me for once, right? On like the nose, is it the nose cone, the middle, the hub of a spinning thing, right? We need to put on that, right? We need to put the RAF roundel, I think it's called, the symbol, the target symbol. It's a daft thing to draw a target on your plane, but that's what we used to do. We still do. So we put that target right in the middle, and then on the actual wings, right? Stay with me on this one. Paint them like a Spitfire wings, right? Make them look like Spitfire wings. Honestly, all those gams, right? Who go, I fucking don't want to look at these wind turbines, right? I fucking love it. They'll look out on the hilltop and they'll see these Spitfire propellers. Don't even call them wind turbines. Don't even call them Spitfire propellers. Monuments to the war dead, lest we forget. God, I hate all those people who do that virtue signaling. They use things of virtue signaling. I hate that. Where's me poppy? Give me a poppy. But because we haven't been pushing energy sovereignty as much as we should, a lot of our energy that we have in this country is produced in Qatar. Okay, Qatar. Yeah, from natural. They call it natural gas to make it sound more green. It's not. It's just gas. It's just fucking. It's one of the cleanest hydrocarbons, but that's not saying much. It's like saying this is the cigarette that gives you the least amount of cancer. It's like not saying much, right? This is the least radioactive isotope to put in your tooth. It's not good. It's not good, right? So if you have a look at the path that these gas ships have to go through to get from Qatar to the UK, they have to go round the Arabian Peninsula, and you've got this tiny little strait between Iran and UAE, Oman. Oman's got a little exclave up there. And if they mine that, we're going to be stuffed because we're completely reliant on gas coming from Qatar to keep the lights on, because we don't have energy self-sufficiency. We don't have energy sovereignty. We should, but the Gam said no. Gam said, no, we don't want to. We want to be completely dependent on these countries for our oil and our gas. We don't want to make our own energy. That's just woke. Making your own energy is woke. So this could really fuck things up for us. Do you think your energy bills are a lot now? Yeah? If the US and fucking Iran the fucking US and fucking Iran start going at it, we could be in a lot of trouble. Also, can I just say, and we talked about gas ships before, gas ships scare the fucking bejesus out of me. They have so much energy pent up in those bloody things that if one of them hit a mine and it blew up, it would boil the water around it. It would burn the skin off someone standing a kilometre away. It'd be one of the biggest peacetime explosions. Peacetime. It'd be one of the biggest non-nuclear explosions of all time. So they're not going to... If there are any mines put out by Iran, then I don't think Qatar's going to bother sending us any more gas. They'll just keep hold of it until it all blows over, I guess. Or blows up. One of the two. So I don't really want America doing this, because it could really fuck us over. No action without reaction. No effects without side effects. No one thinks this through. If you do this, maybe they'll do that. Does that fuck people in America? I don't know. They fuck people here in the UK. Well, they're struggling with bills that are like £2,500 a fucking year. How many are lucky bills? It wasn't that long ago. It was like 200 quid a year. Now we have to sit in the cold. But we got a couple of super chats, which has warmed me up. Ms. Paula Thomas, thank you very much for the £10 super chat. It's very kind of you. The history of the US attempts to stop Iran enriching uranium is long and led to the development of the Stuxnet computer virus in 2005. It was intended to stay on the Iranian sites. It didn't. Yep. Thanks for that as well. And good info. I like that. And then Reverend Caffey, £2 super chat. Special sewing badge for L Butterfly Effect, which also has the effect of triggering the second display of confetti this morning. So there you go. Wonderful stuff. Thank you so much to Reverend Caffey and Mr. Paul Thomas and everyone else who has chipped in this morning for the confetti. I'll reset the confetti cannon. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to wrap up talking about this at the moment. But you know, the mining of the Gulf is a real worry, because that will fuck things over for us. And then we've got the risks of escalation with the US forces concentrated close to Iranian territory, Iran surrounded by US bases and allied infrastructure, the Strait of Hormuz, it's in my notes, it is the Strait of Hormuz, I think that's what it said. I think it said Hormuz, but it's Hormuz. Handles 20 to 25% of global oil shipments. If that gets mined, think about what it's going to do to the price of everything, because we're still hooked on fossil fuels, and this is such a good reason why we shouldn't hook ourselves on fossil fuels. Any disruption would spike global energy prices. Neighbouring Gulf states is exposed to retaliation, and there's high risk of miscalculation or forced escalations. Possible outcomes, this is non-speculative framing. There's a BBC, article about this morning. Limited strikes will not guarantee regime change. Iran retaliation against US assets is openly threatened. Regional allies could be drawn into the conflict, which is the big worry, because obviously Saudi Arabia and Iran, not friends. And civilian and refugee impacts would be immediate and large scale. No clear US end state articulated by Trump or Rubio. And then we've got the core political reality of this. It was Trump who destroyed the existing nuclear framework. It wasn't the Iranians. The Iranians were fairly happy with it, not overly chuffed, but at least they had agreed to it. Trump was the one who blew that up. Now he's demanding a better deal using military intimidation instead of cooperation and diplomacy, because he doesn't know how to be diplomatic. He's a dickhead. And then Iran distrusts US intentions after the 2018 withdrawal under Trump in the first administration. The protest crisis makes the regime more volatile than it was back in 2015 when this original deal was struck, and not more compliant. And military pressure does not necessarily address the internal legitimacy collapse. And also, what if they get a deal with the mullahs, the Ayatollah and the clerics? What if they get a deal, and then 2 weeks later there's another revolution, and the people get rid of them? Does the deal still stand? I don't know. But the bottom line is this is kind of escalation without a very clearly defined objective. I know this sort of because the objectives changed. in the last 2 weeks. Don't forget that, first of all, they were going to protect the protesters. Now they're talking about the nuclear capabilities. So, you know, Trump has no idea how to effectively run a diplomatic operation. All he knows is military signaling, and he treats civilian risk as collateral damage. You know, it's an afterthought to Trump. And after going through what they've gone through, the Iranian people have gone through over the last few weeks, up to 30,000 people being murdered on the streets by the authorities there, Trump turning up and fucking bombing the place is the last thing that people need. And the risk is that, you know, this could end up causing suffering and death for tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people who live in the Middle East, and also causing deaths around the world, because I know that we hate the fossil fuel industry, but without it, a lot of places are fucked, because we need electricity to stay alive. We need electricity for the incubators in the hospitals. We need it to warm our homes, otherwise we'll freeze to death. We need it to grow our crops, because the tractors use fuel. We don't have electric tractors, I don't think. I mean, do you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of dominoes that can be toppled if Trump goes down this route. Tim Ballum, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. The scale inside gas pipelines, etc., is radioactive and considered hazardous materials. Why do you think we don't remove old gas mains? Yeah, thanks very much for that super chat, Tim, and that info. Love a bit of info, especially when it's accompanied by a super chat. It's very kind of you. Billions of dollars to move their carrier group, the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah. They love chucking that stuff around. I wonder if mole smokes would work as an alternative. It's a trillion per year industry of hush money deluding. Yeah, it is. I love that. I'm fed up of the ones who have impractical reality and only interested in when pants happy. Yeah. Electro tractor. I don't even need one, but if you want one, you can call it that. Electro tractor. Quick to the electro tractor. Hey, they're doing trials for driverless taxis. Waymo taxis in London later this year. I don't know how I feel about that. Not great, I feel. Anyway, so we're going to go on to the papers now. Just to wrap up on Iran. Not good. I hope I've given you a little bit of an overview about the situation over there. I hope you better understand it. Help myself better understand it, because it's fucked. America just being fucking idiots, as always. Right, so over to the papers. First of all, we've got countdown to conflagration. That's a Daily Fail there, being horrible, as always, because it's the Daily Mail, and that's what the Daily Mail does. It's just horrible. And this is Trump, my Armada, Jesus Christ. He thinks he's fucking King Philip the Fifth or whatever it was. My Armada is ready to strike with speed and violence. Iran saying our forces have fingers on triggers and ready to respond like never before, which is a bit disconcerting, to say the very least. And then we've got over on this side. Do you know what? I've got my bloody phone plugged in. Sorry, you can see it. I'll show you my phone. It's plugged in, but it's not charging. I hate it when it does this. Why are you not charging? What do you do when you've got a naughty phone that just won't charge? Actually, this is not my cable. This is Rachel's cable. Oh, she's not watching. Are you watching, Rachel? I'm not going to steal your cable. I promise I will not steal your cable. I'm going to plug this in to my little box here on my laptop. I hope this doesn't give me the blue screen of death. I've done this before, and it's given me the blue screen of death. So just 1 second. I'm going to plug in my phone. Fingers crossed. And it's not charging. Okay, it's not charging for my laptop. Great. What a great setup. It's great. Let's see. Can I unplug something? Oh yeah, I can unplug that. Nice. Here we go. I hope my sound's not gone off. Has my sound gone off? I don't know. I keep getting like a red warning signal. Oh yes, it's plugged in now. Okay. I just put my phone in there. Sorry about that. Everyone. Right, countdown. Oh God, I had Trump's face on the screen there for ages. I'm really sorry. There's this weird fucking headline on the Mail here saying, "Can you tell from these women's faces who's a serial cheat and who has always been faithful?" No. I just tell you now, you can't. So don't even try. The Times. With make no deals with China until Jimmy Lai freed, Sun urges UK, which is the activist who's been imprisoned in Hong Kong. PM shells fresh plan to overhaul benefits. It's the story about they're saying that there's not going to be time to overhaul benefits in this parliament, even if they do enact legislation to overhaul benefits. It's not going to kick in until after 2029. Still all okay, says Viper Scott. Thank God for that. We've got Corrie Helen there talking about a horrific scene from an episode of Coronation Street a long time ago where she was a child in bed with someone. Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't know what the fuck was going on there. Pygmalion, thank you very much for the £2 super chat. It's very kind of you. Thank you. There's a super chat. I'm going to put it there. There you go, super chat. Woohoo. Thank you. Trump's gunboat diplomacy. Trump's war threat to Iran. President warns rogue state. It's a rogue. Stop being so roguey, you rogue state. You naughty rogue people. Stop being rogue. Rogue One. Time is running out. Time is running out for talks. And then we've got the Daily Telegraph here. Hello. I've got a visitor.
Hey.
Hello. Thank you.
Kafefi.
Cheers. Do you want to come and take a seat and join us for the morning?
Well, I'm going to screw up your background.
No, you're not.
Oh,
No. You just come on. Yeah, Rachel's coming. It's Rachel Harris. I've just been given another coffee. That's a good cup of Joe.
Always.
So there we go. Just come on a little bit more. You can see yourself on that. Oh. Yeah. We're just going through the papers. We're going for the papers.
I was thinking I can't hear anybody, but we don't need.
No, we don't need to hear.
We don't earphones today.
Oh, and my super chat thing came up. That's not here. So I'm still at Rachel's here in the.
I've only just got up. I'm recovering from last night.
we were listening to music last night, and it was just like one more song. So we were listening to the Tinder Sticks, and I said, "Do you know the National?" Because they're like an American version of the Tinder Sticks. And so we were listening to a couple of songs by the National, and I didn't even know this. I knew they did a song with Phoebe Bridgers a couple of years ago, but they actually did a song with Taylor Swift.
Yeah, they did. And this is to you.
I'm not allowed to listen to. I'm gonna drag you over. I'm gonna drag you over to my side. I'm not allowed to listen to the National in the car with the girls because they all find it too depressing.
It's a bit sad.
But they're all massive Taylor Swift fans, so I've got a National song I can play now.
You can like a heroin dealer. Have a little bit of heroin.
little bit of the National. But this is brilliant. Thank you so much for having me. By the way,
it's been great.
I was telling everyone that earlier yesterday. We went out for a pub meal. It was absolutely delicious.
Yeah, I'm recovering from.
It was very pleasant, pleasant.
Yeah.
But yes, and your gaff here is just magnificent.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's magnificent. Totes gels.
It's in the middle of nowhere, which is the bit I like.
Yeah.
We're isolated. Come the apocalypse, we'll be fine. No, zombies won't find us.
Yeah, no, this would be a great place to set up for the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, that's why I bought it. No, not really. I'm living in Ireland.
So we've got. I was going through the papers, so we can have a read of these. We've got Trump's war over here. We've got Starmer use ECHR to investigate British troops. That's the Equalities and Human. No. The European Court of Human Rights. Don't get them mixed up.
Yeah, don't get them mixed up. The other one's not a nice place.
Yeah, this is the Telegraph. So always take what the Telegraph says with a pinch of salt because it's written by gobshite. Armada is ready. Trump warns Iran, and Labour councils lent on to axe elections. Labour council leaders were lent on to cancel local elections. The party's ruling body has heard. Oh, piss off. Right, and then we've got these little stories, the mad little stories. Suspended pupils to be kept in schools. I mean, yeah, okay, fair enough. Prostate cancer may cover black men. I would be a bit weird that like. West Streeting is to consider extending prostate cancer screening to black men after a meeting with experts. Is that a real? How is it not?
Are they not being screened?
Are people not being? That is so weird. Oh my God! So a little bit of racism there in the morning. We've also got this story here about Norwich. NHS called in Exorcist over haunted hospice.
Okay.
That's the story. I mean, okay. And then Putin's forces moving slower than a snail. Which is true. That was a story from like a month ago. Someone calculated how fast a snail could move, and if a snail had gone at the same gone at its normal speed, it would be in like Germany by now.
But Michael Caine already did it, didn't he? If a snail crawls out your leg, it'll be 2 weeks before you said, "Oh, that was nice."
Where did you say that? What's that from?
Have you not seen that's a really 1980s impression of Michael Caine?
What? Okay.
The snail. You Google it. Google it.
Okay. All right. Brilliant. Then we've got time is running out. Trump says as US Armada. Oh God. Oh no. Oh no. I've messed up. I've messed up. Sorry everyone. Rachel's like, what have you done it? Time is running out, Trump says, as US. This is why you need 2 screens.
You do. Well, I've got 4 here. But you're not using any of them.
There are 4 screens.
There are 4 screens.
4 screens.
Oh.
What text takes from us and how to take it back, which sounds quite interesting actually. And then we've got this horrific. Ilhan Omar was attacked with a nutter with a syringe, right? And then did you hear about Trump's response to this?
Yeah.
Trump was like, "Oh yeah, whatever. She's a bad person."
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God. Yeah. Well, I mean, not out of the ordinary for Trump because you know what he's like.
It was apple juice and vinegar or something. It was not very nice.
Yeah. Do you like my background?
I do.
It's my
and it's working. The green screen is working.
Yeah,
using the lights.
Yeah.
Well done.
All set up.
Yeah,
I was only 5 minutes late getting started.
Yeah, I thought you know, breakfast, you legged it straight down. There's no heat.
I know.
You've got the heat off in here.
I know. No, it's okay. No, it was quite noisy. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
I've got to tell. Can I tell my story about being on the train last night? Did I tell that when we were?
Oh yeah, you told it to us, but couldn't tell it to us.
Did I not tell it to everyone else?
On the rabbit hole.
Did I talk about it on the rabbit hole? I can't remember. Right, so
yeah.
Yesterday I'm on the train on the way. I've ever told this story already. I'm sorry. I think I just told it to you and Mike.
To Mike. Yeah, maybe.
I was on the train. Yeah, there was a guy, and he was sitting there, and he had this he was listening to music, and he had his laptop out, and he had a fan, like a little handheld fan. He had it on the table in front of him, and it was making this noise, and it was really, really irritating. So I was like giving him daggers. I was just like proper giving him daggers, because British people.
Because we're English, we don't talk about. Can you turn that off?
I think we talked about this because we were talking about people who are annoying, weren't I?
Oh, well, it's all right. Not everybody wants to.
Anyway, so I'm giving this guy daggers, and I'm like. He's got headphones in, so he can't hear what I'm sitting across the way, and there's like this really annoying buzzing sound, and it's really annoying me. But I don't move because I'm British, and I'm sitting there, and I've got my bag, and I've got my paper out, and I can't be arsed moving, and then I'm like, every time I get a chance to sort of catch his eye, I'm like giving him all these daggers, and then he gets up and walks off with his fan. And the noise remains. It was the noise from the train. The train was buzzing. It wasn't his fan. And I'm honestly, for about 20 minutes, I was giving this guy the worst looks.
I know.
So if you were that guy on that train, I feel really sorry. I'm sorry.
That's what I said last night. Was he probably got off because you were giving me I got off 2 stops early. There was this man with a hat. He was staring at me. I was scared.
Anyway, such a dick. Anyway, do you remember the Douglas Adams story about him being on the train with the hobnobs or the biscuits? He's got biscuits on the train, and he sits down with his newspaper and his biscuits, and there's a guy sitting opposite him, and the guy just takes one of his biscuits, and Douglas Adams passive aggressively just sort of looks at him, and then he takes one and eats it. And then the other guy looks at him a bit quizzically, and then he takes another one and eats it. And they get through the whole pack. He gets off without saying anything, like the most British thing ever. Thinking that guy just ate half my biscuits, and then he looks down in his bag and he's got the biscuits are still in his bag. They were the fella's biscuits. They weren't Douglas Adams' biscuits. Great story, but yeah, it was a bit like that. Anyway, so yeah, this was a fucking nutter attacking. It doesn't look like there was anything.
Yeah, it was apple juice and
toxic in the syringe, but if it had been acid,
yeah.
And she's a governor. She's a lawmaker in Minnesota. So she's in the House of Representatives representing Minnesota. Everything's kicking off in Minnesota. Jesus Christ. Yeah. And then Labour told restore high streets or lose election. Well, I mean, that's not the only thing they've got to do to not lose the election.
Quite a lot of things they need to do,
Starmer meets Xi in a historic visit in Beijing. Xi Jinping there. And then we've got the Daily Fail. Oh, God. Hang on. I've just... This is where you have shortcuts, isn't it? Kemi, my party is for serious people and not drama queens.
Oh my God. Captain Kettle, pot calling. Oh my goodness.
It's quite funny,
it's terrible.
Though, isn't it? I mean, it's not fun watching them fight each other. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, you know, I was really disappointed on Desert Island Disc where she said that she would take Marvel to the island, and I was like, you'd be fighting for Thanos. He wouldn't be fighting with the Avengers.
Yeah. Are we the baddies? Yeah. So over to the Star for some reason. We've got a story. This is really, really important about someone in the royal family or something spending a lot of money on wine. Because and then there's some woman in underwear because it's the Star, and then we've got the Financial Times, the only sensible sort of thing. The chatbot shoppers revolutionising retail. Then we've got the faith in taco saps Europe's self-reliance. There, faith in Trump always chickening out. We've also got the Trump threat Armada nearing Iran. Anti-American hoarding. That's an anti-American. Doesn't look very anti-American, does it? It looks quite like, America. Fuck
America.
Miners boost value by 476 billion after global tensions drive up metal prices. This is the price of silver, of gold, of rare earths, everything going up through the fucking roof because of what's happening. The yen is losing value. The dollar has lost. It's lost about 5% in
just crypto's going up. All the billionaires getting their crypto up. The alternative.
I had to put money in my Panamanian bank accounts to show I have money in the account, and it's not gone through yet. It's not appearing in my statements yet. I've got to wait for my next statement, and while I'm waiting, because I want to bring the money back over here, right? I'm losing money because of Trump, because he's destroying the value of the dollar, so everyone's moving towards gold.
Yeah.
Don't panic, Mr. Mannering. Don't panic.
It'll
Don't
work
panic.
out just fine.
We're marooned and doomed. Minister floats universal basic income for workers in sectors wiped out by AI. This is the investment minister's revealed. Talks are taking place within the government on introducing a UBI to support workers in industries likely to be wiped out by AI. I mean, I want universal basic income. Absolutely. I don't think AI is going to wipe out any industries. I really don't. It's too shit. It just doesn't work. Not unless it has some kind of amazing sea change in its usability. Health trusts lend helping hand to hard up patients. The NHS trusts across England are paying to clean patients' home and covering the cost of bus fares, which is nice. And then we've got the news in briefs over here. Oh no, I've just clicked on The Guardian.
You like The Guardian, don't you?
Yeah, I love The Guardian. It's not as easy as it looks.
No, it is. This is unbelievably complicated.
We're gonna be easy. So we got a story here, which I can't actually read because that's. Hang on, let's suss out how I can move this. So there you go. Federal Reserve leaves interest rates unchanged. That's the first thing, and that's going to piss Trump off because he wants the interest rates to come down. Anti-gang deal with China. So Keir Starmer signed a pact today with President Xi Jinping to share intelligence to tackle people trafficking gangs. In fact, there's a mob gang that was based out of Burma or Myanmar, and 11 of them were executed yesterday by the Chinese authorities. Really grim. Car making back to the 1950s. Trade figures have revealed that the number of vehicles built in the UK factories last year, 764,715, was the lowest since 1952.
Wow. But EVs are outselling in Europe.
That's insane. I can't believe how low that is. That seems really low. I mean, but then Brexit's to blame for that as well, to some extent.
Yeah.
Oh, this is really annoying. If I click on that, I can't see that. And now I can't move about on there. Oh, why are you doing this to me? Anyway, KPMG pay beats rivals there. SpaceX birthday boy Elon Musk has proposed timing of the listing of his space company to coincide with his birthday. And then we've got Deutsche Bank raided there. We've got the lenders Frankfurt base and other officers have been raided by prosecutors as part of a dirty money probe. Ooh. And then we've got some, this Paris's finance minister, Roland Lescure, has urged the French tech group, this is Cap Gemini, to provide details of its contract with the US agency ICE, which is kind of terrifying. And then we've got fish pile up after IT glitch, which is hidden behind us because of an IT glitch. Hang on. Fish have piled up at European ports after an IT system designed to detect illegal catches was overwhelmed, sparking warnings of a potential shortage.
Wow.
Right. Okay. Okay. So things are running really slow. Look. It's like steam powered now. I'm gonna have to close things because it's just not dealing, is it?
Yeah.
It's just not. Do you know what it is? Great. Could you do me a huge favour? It's not plugged in.
Right.
It should be. There's a plug down there. Yeah. And if you take off the block, because the block's not working anyway, and just plug in the plug that's from a laptop straight in. Yeah. The block's not working. Right. That's why everything's gone really slowly. Richard, down slowly. We had a super chat a moment ago, which I'm going to try and find now. Good morning, all. I got remonetized today on my YouTube channel. Yay, regularly. That's really good news. Congratulations and well done. I'm trying to click on the heart. Can people stop talking? There you go.
You got power?
I do. I've got power. Really? I've got power. Yeah. Sorry. I was like my phone wasn't charging, and I was like, oh, it must just be the cable. But it must have been down there.
Power is restored, Captain. Yeah. Oh, Mr. Wonderful.
I don't have that power.
Oh, Mr. Wonderful, he wants me to do stuff now.
Hello, computer. Hello, computer. It's the mouse.
Keyboard.
It's the mouse.
Right.
Right. You're buffering, Graham. Yeah, sorry about that. There you go.
It's not the internet.
That's because it's not plugged in. So it was in low power mode. That's why it just went all mad when we were trying to do the papers then. Yeah, is it better now? Is it better now? Look, see, it's a dropped frames there. It's not dropped any frames. I don't know what it's talking about. So there you go. Is it your computer, Graham? Yes, the computer is too slow.
It's not the
when
internet.
It's not plugged in.
We may live in the middle of nowhere, but
it doesn't have
internet.
It doesn't have enough. It doesn't have enough electrons.
Yeah.
So yeah, I better go and have some breakfast because I'm heading off in an hour. I'm going off to see the lovely Hannah Janes.
Nice.
And she lives on the other side of the southeast. In fact, she lives more in the southwest. I've got to take a southwest train to get to her.
So you're going all the way back up to London and then back out again?
There's a southeast train to see you, and then so I've got to take a southeast train to London, and then a southwest train.
Make that make sense. Can't you just cut across?
Yeah. Buffering, frozen visuals. Oh, this isn't good. Let's get rid of this because obviously that's taking up
your laptop fan's running.
Yeah, no. Well, that's a good sign. That's a good sign. Dropping frames also. Is the sound going off? Power is restored.
Power is restored, Captain.
Power is restored.
Yeah.
Let us know if we're streaming okay. We're just going to go for a few more minutes and then we're going to sack this off anyway.
I have to say that Diz is the fastest admin in the planet.
I said we were talking about that last night. Fastest admin in the West.
Because I've got admin status and sometimes I go in and I just drop into the chat sometimes and I see something, I go, I should do something, and Diz is there. Another administrator has dealt with this. And I go, oh, that's bad. Another administrator is still Bluff, fastest weapons in the West. Super quick.
I tell you what, though, I mean, it's really handy having you here because you could go around the back of the desk there and plug my laptop in. If I'd just been here on my own, I would have had to. Yeah. I don't know. So
you got all the floodlights.
Put up your test.
How did you get all these on? Did Emma put those on for you?
Yeah, she put them on.
Oh, that's good.
I've got to say that, one of the things I need to think about doing is I used to have a test card for Hughes rounds.
Yeah.
I need to do that again. Yeah. Like me with a little doll and a blackboard with noughts and crosses on it, like thumbs up.
I used this green screen here over there. I hear somebody lob that behind and pull it up. You should get one of those.
I should actually. Yeah. Can I have that?
Can you have that?
Yeah.
We still use it.
I know,
but still use it in the business.
You tell them a scouser, can't you? Can I have that? I like that. Gives a job.
Gives a
green screen. I'll have that.
When we move to Ireland, I'm going to give it to you then.
So yeah, how's it been being on the show in real life?
Yeah, it's good. It's really good. I mean, it is like the flight deck of the Enterprise. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on with all your little panels and your screens and the chat sizes and the CSS windows. I mean, if I touch anything on this, it's all going to go tits up. But it is. It's a lot more complicated.
Well, it's like there's a lot of things to go wrong. Like, for instance, then that whole buffering episode was caused by the fact I was running out of battery.
Yeah.
Because I plugged the plug in, but the adapter thing that it went into, obviously that didn't go in properly.
Yeah.
Now when I plugged it in, it's got a little blue light on it. It's one of those annoying plugs that you plug it in and the blue light comes on because it gets power for like a millisecond.
Yeah.
And then it stays on for like a minute. So you think, oh yeah, that's good, it's working. And it slowly fades. Really annoying. Fade to grey. Yeah. We were listening to Kraftwerk last night.
We were doing a bit of synthing. We were trying to knock out Kraftwerk ourselves on the synth last night.
A bit of OMD, bit of OMD.
We were a bit too drunk. We came in. I was like, I can play Kraftwerk. I don't seem to be hitting the right notes.
Rachel's got these 4 synthesizers in a square, and I was like, is that a trap for trapping Kraftwerk? Like, if you had Kraftwerk in your house, all these Kraftwerks always coming in the middle of the night. Well, put a trap for them, and they stand there in the middle of a square of synths.
Well, that's what I do.
A big net falls down.
Well, I'm repairing. I repair synths as a hobby.
A technetium.
Yeah. I've got this old Hammond organ, the pink one.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, and I'm doing that today. All I'm doing today is soldering like 100 capacitors onto a circuit board. It's like, how are you doing this?
I'm glad Aid's not here. He's making jokes about his dad's pink organ.
Oh, dear.
This is AI. No, this is not AI. This is very, very real.
This is real.
This is our heroine. Back to normal, whatever that is, says Sid. That's a good name for a show, isn't it? Back to normal. Whatever.
Wednesday night show. Back to normal.
So I'm going to be doing the show tonight with Hannah. We're planning to do a very special episode of The Intersection, which we've not done for a while, in real life, and we're going to be talking about the male loneliness epidemic. The manufactured loneliness epidemic. It's funny how it's the male loneliness epidemic. It's not the female. It's not the loneliness epidemic. It's just. So are the men not hanging out with other men either?
I don't know what's going on. I think the fact is that lots of women don't want to date right-wing guys.
Yeah.
Because they're really unpleasant.
Yeah.
And therefore, they're lonely.
Yeah.
And I think not to say that it isn't. There are people that are isolated for all sorts of reasons. But a lot of the guys on the right are isolated because women don't want to date them.
Yeah, yeah. And I think guys don't want to hang out with them.
No.
If you got like a male friend who's completely toxic, why would,
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of my male friends are lovely.
Yeah.
They don't hang around with toxic right-wingers.
So let's wrap up now because it's coming up to 10:30. I'm going to have a bite to eat. Is breakfast still out?
It's not, but we'll put something out for you. I'm sure Emma.
I think Emma was a bit upset because I came down. I was like, I've got no time for the breakfast. I've got to get started.
No, but it's probably a bowl of cereal and a.
No, that's fine. That's more than enough. Yeah. But yeah, I normally skip breakfast. You know, on days when I've got like PMQs
it's just a
or
cigarette,
the agenda,
it's a cigarette and a coffee.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, so Dragarth says about the prostate cancer story. No one is currently screened for it through blood tests. Through blood tests as standard. It's just a study being released saying black men are at higher risk. Hence discussion.
Thank you.
It made it sound like they weren't
getting the screening.
They were screening white men, but not black men. I'm like, what the hell? Like,
could it be that the paper was framing it to make it?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, that sort of thing.
That doesn't sound like something a newspaper would do.
Which is fantastic. And also we've had the good news that Reagan Elite's channel has been monetized again.
Hey!
We love Reagan Elite.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm going to head off now. We're going to head off.
Yeah.
Into the wild blue
quick bowl
yonder.
of cereal and I'll take you to the station.
Oh, I just want to stay. It's so lovely here.
You like on train. You like travelling on trains.
I do. Especially when there's this noise. I'm getting really irritated.
He might be on the train with you again.
Put that fucking fan away.
He might be on the same train going back up. It's the stary guy again.
He turns it off and the noise you made, and I look like a dickhead. I'm so glad I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? Anyway, thanks so much for watching. And like I say, hopefully I'll see you later. Please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification icon, which will let you know when we're going live, because it'll depend on when I get set up with Hannah, and we're going to have a discussion beforehand of what we're going to talk about. So please join us. It's probably going to be about 7 o'clock, something like that. It shouldn't be too late. But please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification icon so you know that we are going to go live. And until then, I will say thank you so much for watching. Thanks for the super chats. Give us a like on the way out. And until next time, hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye. Bye.